Good morning. I'm Carlton Sharp, pastor of Faith Christian Center Church, right here in Beaumont, Texas. And we're here on what's happening in our neighborhood. And today, my special guest is Christopher Unk Jones. Welcome, Chris.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It's good to see you, Doctor. It's good to see you.
Hey, so tell us what's going on.
All is well, just getting back to Beaumont, getting ready for school and the neighborhood associations and getting ready, staying ready.
Now you are part of the Charlton Pollard Historical Neighborhood Association.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about the association.
Yes, sir. I am the current president of the Historical Neighborhood Association in the South End. The real South End.
Hold on. What do you mean by the real South End?
Well, like most of the times we'll hear on the news 4, 6, or 12 in Beaumont South End, and 9 times out of 10 it's street that's in the Pear Orchard or in South Park.
So you ain't claiming the Pear Orchard streets?
No, that's not South End. Everybody that's originally from Beaumont knows the real South End.
Okay, so tell us what's the boundaries of the real South End.
Okay, so the boundaries of the real South End is actually the riverbed, the Nature's River, from the Nature's River all the way up to Martin Luther King Parkway.
Okay.
That's the South End. Let's say Washington Boulevard, the underpass, Irving Street, that's all South End. As far as like the boundaries of the neighborhood association, the neighborhood association has actually expanded its boundaries into what was known as the Heart of the City Neighborhood Association, as well as the Avenues Neighborhood Association.
Hold up, Chris. Hold up, man. If you just gonna claim the real South End, no, you going outside the real.
Well. We're still in the real South End, but like I said, just to get other neighbors involved with what's going on around us, the neighborhood association expanded itself. The association expanded itself.
So what you did was encapsulate Charlton Pollard Elementary and Martin Luther King Middle School.
Absolutely.
So you're in the association.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And most of those students are from the Avenues and the South End or the Charlton Pollard neighborhood. So it was befitting for our neighborhood association to expand its boundaries to include Martin Luther King Middle School. So the boundaries are from Avenue A up until, like I said, our industrial.
Okay, I'm a hold to this now. So Chris, why associations? Why neighborhood associations?
Neighborhood associations are key components, Pastor, and these are just like you get the information out to us. That's what neighborhood associations are geared up to do. Get the information out to the neighbors, as well as it's the opportunity for you to actually have a one-on-one opportunity with your elected official. Sometimes they are present in the meetings and sometimes they aren't. But like I said, I know in Ward 3 we have several different neighborhood associations,
okay,
and we're currently in the process of rebuilding those associations. We have the Brickyard Neighborhood Association. We have which encompasses the Brickyard area as well as CDS.
Wow, that's my stomach ground there.
Yeah, they had their reunion just last weekend.
Yeah.
And the neighborhood association, the face of the neighborhood association was there. We took a few pictures and posted it on the neighborhood association's page. So, just to let our neighbors of Charlton Pollard know, we're still neighbors.
See, it's bringing back. When I was a kid, a real kid, when I was back in CDS. But I remember the Gilmores and the Simmons and J.D. Roberts.
Right. And he was like almost all of those families were there this past weekend.
Yeah.
On the 3rd is when they had their
Percy and RC
yes,
and all the cats, man.
Yes, sir.
But I was a kid then.
Right.
Hey, but now let's get back to the neighborhood association.
Yeah.
But really, the neighborhood association helped keep the elected officials accountable.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
To that neighborhood.
Absolutely.
So if you have a need or a complaint or whatever you want to address come to the associations,
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
who can get the information to the elected officials?
Absolutely. And every, like I said, every neighborhood or every ward has several neighborhood associations within it. You just, most of the times it's posted on the, I think it's the police department's website where you can find that information for the neighborhood associations. And I also think it's on the City of Beaumont's website also of the, you know, the boundaries as well as the active neighborhood associations. And like I said, like you said, you know, it's an opportunity for you, us as residents and neighbors to address one-on-one with each other as well as with our elected officials, and some businesses also attends the neighborhood associations as well. We have a strong relationship with our industrial community that encompasses the Charlton-Pollard neighborhood. And that's one of the things that I thought was key to communicate with our industrial neighbors as well as, you know, our residential neighbors.
Right.
Bringing everybody in the fold, pretty much. We're also in the process of communicating with our faith-based communities, because you know those are some of Beaumont's oldest faith-based communities.
Right there in the real South End.
Absolutely, in the real South End.
Hey, because really in your Charlton-Pollard Historical Neighborhood Association, you have the ability to call in the mayor, your council person, and the 2 at-large members.
Absolutely,
because they represent you.
Absolutely,
the citizens of Charlton-Pollard.
Absolutely.
And so you bring them in from time to time to pose questions to them about what they're doing,
where we're going,
and where we're going.
Right, absolutely, absolutely, and also to give them insight on the work that they are potentially doing, or you know, just to give them feedback on what needs to be done. The neighborhood associations are there that, you know, for that specific reason. And for us collectively as stakeholders within the neighborhood to address things one with another and resolve those, come up with some type of resolve or recourse to any issue that we may be having. So,
that's good.
Yes, sir.
Now, but your association was also instrumental in the back to school readiness program.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Talk to us about that.
What we're going to, what we actually did is many components within our neighborhood, Brothers for Positive Change, some other community groups within our neighborhood gave back to, did back to school drives, backpack fills, and they gave some of those backpacks to the Charlton-Pollard students as well as to some of the Martin Luther King students. Our neighborhood association, and I'm also a part of PTA, and I encourage every parent and every student to join your campus's PTA. That gives you the leverage that you need to go to bat for yourself. So I encourage you, join your local, your campus's PTA.
And I like what you said earlier about being a stakeholder.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
In the process, you know, it's one thing to complain about it, but when you get involved in it, you are a stakeholder. But go ahead, continue.
So it's going to give us that opportunity to bring leverage to the district. So, like I said, join your PTAs. But our neighborhood association, in collaboration with the Martin Luther King Middle School PTSA, Parent Teacher Student Association. And they encompasses their students, and Charlton-Pollard also has PTA that encompasses their students as well. So I encourage those, to join your PTA. But what we're going to be doing is throughout the entire year, we're going to replenish some of those supplies that was given at the beginning of the year. Most of the times our students, their backpack may break. Our neighborhood association and our PTAs will be able to give them another backpack. They may need a belt. They may need, reuse of uniforms or different things like that. We're actually going to be there to meet the need not only for our students, but for our teachers and our parents as well.
And that's good. So not only did you give school supplies away, but your uniforms,
Yes, sir.
And things of that sort. And then throughout the year,
Yes, sir.
I mean, because most people just only think about back to school when school starts.
Right, absolutely.
You know, but around, a few months later, the paper is gone.
Right.
The pencils are gone.
Right.
But the Charlton Pollard Historical Neighborhood Association is going to be replenishing those things.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
But you're not only doing that, but you're also providing tutoring.
Yes, sir. Tutoring, mentoring, and these will be during school hours. That's why I encourage everybody to join your local PTAs and join your neighborhood association and volunteer in public schools. Fill that out on the BISD website so that you can go into the schools to become a volunteer in public schools. Yes, they do a background check, so if you have some issues, you might want to be mindful of those.
Yeah.
But I encourage everybody to fill that form out to volunteer in public schools. That way you can be accessible on campus when your PTA needs you, when your student teacher needs you, when your principal may need you, or when you may need them.
Right.
And start rebuilding the partnership with educators and parents so that we can continue to develop like minds here in Beaumont and, produce some brilliant students.
Yeah, and since you are involved, see, your involvement, that's why the UNC is there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean,
yes, sir. You get it.
You're really not all of their uncles, but because you're involved, they look at you as UNC.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's pretty much how it started. UNC started when I was in high school. Students my age and a little younger saw leadership in me, and they were like, "You're like an uncle. You won't let me wear my pants low. You won't, just different things. If I'm hungry, you're gonna feed me. If I need discipline, you'll discipline me. You know, so that's where I get UNC from. And like you said, it's kids that are not my nephews or my nieces, but they call me UNC, and I'm humbled to have that title. That's a real big relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it.
In the real South End.
In the real South End.
Hey, now you're also recognizing businesses downtown.
Yes, sir.
Because that encompasses the Charlton Pollard.
Yes, sir.
Historical Neighborhood Association.
In the expansion of the neighborhood, we also included some of the College Corridor Neighborhood Association, and these are the neighborhood associations that I mentioned that we encompassed were inactive neighborhood associations. So all we did was help them out some.
Okay.
And now they're in what we call the Charlton Pollard, the Greater Charlton Pollard boundary.
But you're not in the real South End.
You're not in the real South. Well, look. I told a friend of mine that's from the Avenues, and he was like, "That's South End. This the Avenues. You can't come and encroach in the Avenues, man. It's the Avenues. This the Avs." I was like, "We're just doing it for
to help out."
To help out. He was like, "Well, when we get started again, let us know, and then you back out." I was like, "No, we're here to stay. We're at Martin Luther King to stay." So yeah, it's and I had to deal with that. I had to deal with that with a bunch of the seniors that participate in the neighborhood association. Wait, that's not our neighborhood.
I can see that. Now, Chris, you guys meet every second Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Every second Tuesday of the month at 6:30, and we're at the Family Resource Center on Irving Street. 2060 Irving Street is the address. It's also known as the Charlton Pollard Center. Right adjacent to the Charlton Pollard Park and the Charlton Pollard Memorial Park. So, yeah.
And so we put the information right there on the bottom of the screen. Let me give you the contact information. If you want to contact the Charlton Pollard Historical Neighborhood Association, here's the number you call. You call 409-499-7737. Again, the number is 409-499-7737. Or you can reach them at cphistoricalna at gmail.com. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen so that you can see it there. Again, that's cphistoricalna at gmail.com. And so I want to thank Chris for coming today to talk to us about the Charlton Powell Historical Neighborhood Association in the real South End. In the real South End.
In the real South End.
And I want to thank you for joining us here on what's happening in our neighborhood.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you next time.
Next time.
On our broadcast.
Yes, indeed.